What's up, vinyl community? This is your boy Chris. Those of you who know me, follow this channel, follow me along on Instagram, refer to me as Tunes from the Man Cave. This is my 2019 vinyl tag video. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I had no idea what the idea of a vinyl tag was. I've been in the YouTube vinyl community for less than a year, so it was really a foreign concept to me. But I clicked on a few videos. I really liked them. It brought up a lot of really good questions, stuff that I would do a video on anyway, and really good talking points and really good conversation pieces. So I've been thinking about it for a few days. I've watched some really great videos, and I figured I'd put mine together myself. So diving right in, question number one find of 2018. Okay, the true answer to this are a couple of records, it's a tie really, that I've showed in so many videos. But just assuming you guys haven't seen some of the other videos, some of you might be viewing a video of mine for the first time, it's really honestly a tie between John Coltrane's Blue Train, original mono press, and Lee Morgan's The Cooker, original mono press. That's the honest answer. But for this vinyl tag video, I figured I would pull one out to show you guys that maybe I haven't shown in another video. I don't think I've shown in another video anyway. I could be wrong. Happened once before. But just in case, here it comes. The Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. First stereo press. It is an immortal classic. Iconic. No reason in hell that it should have taken this long for the Zombies to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but as you guys know, it just happened. I mean, the Sex Pistols got in off of one freaking album years ago, so why the hell was this not enough for the Zombies to get in years ago? Why they still could have put on a decent performance for us at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But anyway, it's an immortal psych rock classic. I know plenty of people that consider this their favorite album of all time, and damn it, you just don't see it. You never see this. You don't see it out in the wild. You don't see original pressings in record stores for 20 bucks. This shit don't happen. My boy Dylan at Noble Records had it for years, this exact one, this copy. And I tried to talk him out of it for years. And because, you know, Dylan's one of those ones that, you know, if he loves a record, I mean, it's great. But, you know, he's one of those ones that for the right offer, he'll still part with it. He'll regret it for years after, and he'll start trying to find another one. But for the right price, you never know. He wasn't parting with that because he's told me often that may very well be his favorite album of all time. So I just sat back and it was like, oh, damn, because I knew I always search for it on eBay and Discogs and hundreds of dollars. It's like, I'm not doing it. So he finally messages me one day, and it's a picture of that album, but it's another one that he just found that's in better condition. So he told me, I'm finally ready to sell it to you. I'm keeping the one that I just found. I'm going to sell you this copy. And I about shat myself, but I finally have that beautiful record there. Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle, one of the greatest records of all time. It's phenomenal. You need to get it in your life. So that's probably, you know, that's up there for me, but I wanted to throw you guys a curveball. You guys are used to me showing jazz records. And, you know, honestly, The Cooker, Blue Train, those are my favorite finds of 2018. It's a tie. But I wanted to show you guys something that maybe I've never shown on this channel before, on my videos before. Question number 2. Shouts to channels that deserve more followers. There's a bunch. I'm going to throw a few at you. First of all, Melinda Murphy. That's the name. That's her name and her channel's name. She's new to VC, but she's already, I think, got more subscribers than me. I mean, and it's easy to see why. Her videos are great. She's so well-spoken and she's so thoughtful and you can tell that it really means a lot to her. You can tell that this is something that has been a part of her life forever. And it's not a fad for her. It's you can just tell. And she always comes off as very authentic and which is something I love for my videos. If I watch a vinyl community video and the person I'm watching doesn't seem authentic, I click off of that bastard fast. I don't like people trying to look like Ryan Seacrest on the vinyl community. Don't do it. Be yourself. But she's awesome, and the main reason that made me want to do a vinyl tag video, actually, I saw 3 or 4 before hers, but and hers was, you know, on par with everybody else's. But what really got me was her answer to the last question, tag question number 20. I'm not going to tell you what her answer was. I want you guys to watch the video. So look up Melinda Murphy's 2019 vinyl tag video. Thank me later. I love her answer to the very last question. I love it. Next up, Mike Guitar Player 07. Just like it's spelled, Mike Guitar Player 07. Mike is an awesome guy. He's so intelligent about records and so intelligent about so many genres, and he's always interested in finding and discovering something new, and he's got a real enthusiasm for it that I just love. And it's guys like Mike. I think Mike's 21. It's guys like Mike that make me believe that this isn't going away anytime soon. And I'm going to introduce a couple more guys to you that make me think the same thing. But Mike definitely needs more subscribers. I don't know how many he's got, but 10,000 wouldn't be too many. He's a great guy, and I just love him to death. So please, do yourself a favor. Next up is Hank at Smokestack Records. Hank is an awesome guy, and he's another one of those ones that I don't know exactly how old Hank is, but I know he's a young guy, and he's another one that gives me hope, enthusiasm that this format that we all love so much is going to be around for maybe decades to come, and I can only hope that's true. He's got a wide range of interests. He's got some awesome blues records. He's getting into jazz this year. He's telling me that, you know, he's really getting out there trying to get some more jazz in his collection. It's very diverse, great soul, great blues, and great knowledge, and I like to watch his videos because he's so well-spoken and he's thoughtful, and you can tell it all means a lot to him, and he's just a great guy, and I think you guys should follow Hank Smokestack Records. Also check out his 2019 vinyl tag video. Another one of my favorites. Next up, Vinyl Fuzz. Okay, I believe that Vinyl Fuzz is like 14 years old or 15 years old. I can't remember his first name right off the top, but he is awesome, and he has got a insane knowledge of psych records and just music in general that, man, I wish I was packing that kind of knowledge about great music at 14. At 14, I had great knowledge about what was being played on the radio at the time and what I had heard in my life. But for a 14-year-old kid to know this much about 50 and 60-year-old music, I mean, I just wish I'd had it. I wish I could have had the record collection that he's got at 14. Probably a good thing I don't, because I was 14 20 years ago, and I'd probably have 50,000 records now. But Vinyl Fuzz, guys, look him up. Next up, Earhead 6. Earhead 6, another great guy, great knowledge. He's been very kind to me since I came into the VC, the YouTube VC, I should say. Always got great feedback from my vids. Always got something nice to say. Again, sick knowledge. He's not 14. Don't know how old you are, buddy, but I know you're not 14. Sick knowledge, very nice guy, very thoughtful. He's got a decent amount of subscribers, but it's less than 1,000, and that's kind of what I'm going for here. Next up, Vinyl Community, Steve Carlson. Okay, I love Steve Carlson. What's awesome about Steve is, number one, he takes time out of his day. He will comment on your video. He will break it down. He will comment on each record that he wants to comment on, and he'll give you good feedback. He's a very thoughtful guy. But my favorite thing is two things, really. Is A, he's a very knowledgeable guy. B, he's got great stories, and I love a storyteller. As you guys who have watched my videos know, I love stories. Stories are the best. And he's got sick knowledge. There's so much. I think I know a lot, and then I'll watch a Steve Carlson video, and he points out 3 or 4 things in every video I watch of his that I did not know. And it'll be about albums that mean a lot to me that I've listened to for years. And so that's just awesome. I love learning stuff. And he will, you know, he's a self-described rambler, which is great for me because I am too. I ramble like hell. So nice to meet a fellow rambler. So cheers to you, vinyl community Steve Carlson. You guys follow. You will learn something, I promise. Next up, First Pressing Goodness. First Pressing Goodness, another one. Always got something nice to say on my vids. I imagine I'm not the only one he's got something nice to say about. Great feedback. I follow him on Instagram. He follows me on Instagram. We chat every now and then, direct message. Sick record collection. Great. He's shares the same enthusiasm for first pressings that I do. First pressings used to not mean all that much to me, and sometimes depending on what genre they are, sometimes they still aren't the end all be all. It just depends. But for jazz, first pressings that's where I'm at. But also, First Pressing Goodness. Get in there, give him a subscribe, peep his videos. You will not regret it. Number 3, what holes are you looking to fill in your collection? Okay. This is going to sound insane to you guys. I'm always looking for more jazz. I can't have too much. And for as many as I have that many or double in my mind that I know I want. I know the artist, I know the name, I know everything. Preferably first pressings, obviously. And I'm trying to get my hands on as many as I can, so that's number 1. But that's obvious to you guys who have watched my videos, so I'm trying to throw you guys a couple more then. I'd love to add more psych. I love good psych music. I don't know much about psych music. That's the problem. Guys like my buddy Dylan at Noble Records love psych. Vinyl Fuzz, I told you guys about a minute ago, is 14. He knows 3 times as much about psych as I do, I guarantee you. But I know what good music is, and I know my ears know what good music is, and I know what sounds good. So when I hear one that I really like, I want it. So I've just told Dylan, and Dylan's not going to part with the only copy of a great psych record he has. He's not going to do it. So I've just told him, if you get a double, holler at your boy, we'll make a trade. All you have to do is tell me that you think it's good. We can make that happen. So I'd like to get more psych. I love to get more blues. I can never have too much blues. I've got a decent set of blues. I'd like to have more. I got a few killer blues records in 2018. I'd like to add even more. You can't have too many. Watching Melinda Murphy's vinyl tag video for 2019, she reminded me of a couple. I've got 2 Garth Brooks records. Yeah, I'm going to surprise you guys. Yeah, I'm a South Carolina boy. I like country music as well. Not the current shit that's being played on the radio. That shit sucks. But I love good country music. And I've got 2 Garth Brooks records. Debut. No offenses. I'd like to add the others that are available on vinyl. And I really wish that he would reissue his vinyl catalog. The reason I say that is he reissues his damn CDs every couple of years. Garth, you're like one of the 2 highest selling solo artists of all time, man. We got your CDs. We got them. Reissue the vinyl, dude. I think you're a marketing major, if I'm, not mistaken. I know a little bit about you. Reissue that vinyl, man. Make it not so damn expensive for everybody to get their hands on your wax. So that's another one. And that's all I can really think of for now. Number 4, a cheap album that's really good. Jazz album. Because I know how expensive jazz is. I want to throw you guys one that you can get for reasonable that's great. Rusty Bryant Fire Eater. It's on Prestige. It is great. It is soulful. It's funky as hell. Tell me you can't just look at that dude and know that he's soulful and funky as hell. But it's outstanding. And it can be found for probably $15 to $30, in my opinion, for a jazz record. That's reasonable and that's cheap. When you consider what I've paid for some of mine, that's reasonable and cheap. So Rusty Bryant Fire Eater, guys. You heard it here first. You may not have ever seen this before. Go out and get it. I saw several listings on eBay right now. Very cheap. Go out and find it. Let me know what you think about it, please. If you go out and find it, listen to it and like it, please let me know. All right. Favorite side project album. And a lot of you guys probably aren't going to consider this a side project album, but damn it, I do. And the reason I do is because all 4 of these guys in this group had prominent solo careers, like really successful solo careers. So to me, and they weren't in this group forever, so that's why it's a side project to me. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Deja Vu. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. It's got several of my favorite songs of all time on. Our House, I love Our House. So again, you guys are probably shaking your heads right now thinking, Chris, that's not really what we were going for. I don't give a damn. That's my definition of it. Great album. I'm sure every single one of you has it. Wish I could have found something a little more rare for you guys there. But I love it. All right. A song from artist or band uncharacteristic of their catalog. Okay. I'm an album guy. I'm not a song guy. I know a song in context of an album because I don't do downloads. I don't listen to the radio but so much, and even when I do, I listen to my favorite channels of, usually songs that I'm well familiar with. So I'm an album guy. So I can't name a song off of this up top. I really can't, even though I've heard this thousands of times. But I'm going to go ahead and come on with it. I'm going to come on with an album that might be a little uncharacteristic. Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. This is my original master recording. Sounds great. 45 RPM. I love it. I picked Miles because my favorite era of Miles is 50s, early 60s. Miles just basically can't be touched in 50s and early 60s in my opinion. You have a hard time finding better jazz. He was just on his shit. It was on his game. Miles was so damn cool. The Italian suits. Miles just had it, man. He had everything. And this album has got, a little, funk, a little bit of electric, like guitar and some rock elements and whatnot going on in it. And I recommended several guys who were new to jazz some of Miles' 50s and 60s stuff. And so they listen to them, they like them. And so they run up on Bitches Brew, buy it because they've heard 4 or 5 Miles records now that they've listened to, and then they text me and direct message me Chris, we're assuming you've heard Bitches Brew. What do you think of it? And I know why they're asking, because they bought Bitches Brew thinking they're going to hear the same thing from steaming or working or cooking or round about midnight. And it's just so far different, it's the same. So I dig it. But 50s and 60s Miles, 50s and early 60s Miles is my lane, easily. All right. The last album you purchase. Okay, guys, this is hard for me because usually when I purchase records, I purchase them in bulk. I'll buy 10 or 12 at a time, and, I'll buy 10, 7 or 8 within a couple of days. I'll go a few weeks and won't buy anything, and then I'll buy 7 or 8 in a few days. That's usually how I do it. So this is one of the last ones I know. It might be the last one, but it's definitely one of the last. But it's a damn good record that I've never shown on here. Recent acquisition. Freddie Roach, Good Move, original mono press. New York labels, the full treatment. You guys know how much I love showing off my jazz. Better look at the cover there. It's got Blue Mitchell, Hank Mobley, Eddie Wright, and Clarence Johnston on it. Wonderful record. And one that I was very, very, very thrilled to add to my collection recently. I've only had a chance to spin it once. Next up, a great album with a bad cover. Okay, this one's... I don't really view this cover as bad. I'm going to give you a reason why I'm throwing it out here. Okay, a lot of people don't know much about this record. Lee Morgan Quintet, Take 12. Okay. See that? Is that used to what you're seeing from Lee Morgan? No. You're used to seeing that beautiful Blue Note label, the best label in the history of music. What you get is Jazzland. This is the only album Lee Morgan ever did on Jazzland. But it's up to par, in my opinion, with everything he did on Blue Note round about that time, and hardly anybody knows anything about it. When I talk to people about it, they're like, huh? And I'm talking about some seasoned jazz fans that they're still like, they don't know what this is. It's wonderful. And it can be found for a lot cheaper than some of his Blue Note stuff because Jazzland, Blue Note's more expensive. Even though I would venture this is probably just as rare. And it's remarkable. The only reason I would pick this for a bad cover is it's just not a Blue Note cover. You're used to seeing a Blue Note cover for Lee. And Blue Note did covers like nobody, in my opinion. Nobody tops Blue Note for album covers. They just don't. You take that same photo of Lee right there and let Blue Note get their hands on it, and I promise you it's a great cover. But it just looks uninspired in Jazzland's hands. It's just simple print for his name and the title of the album, and it's Lee with a cigarette in his hands pointing, looking like he's pissed off at somebody. It looks like he's laying into somebody, does it not? In my opinion. You take that same photo, you put it in the hands of Blue Note, and I promise you it's probably iconic. So not a bad cover per se. Not a bad cover per se, but not up to what you're used to seeing from Lee Morgan. Next up, a bad album with a cool cover. And this has the potential to piss some people off. It has the potential. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Okay. Is this a bad album per se? No. There are definitely moments on here for it. The A-side's really good. The B-side doesn't offer very much for me, honestly, in my opinion. But for Black Sabbath, with Ozzy Osbourne on lead vocals, this is just not up to par to Master of Reality and Sabotage, Paranoid, and, the debut. It's not on that same level at all. Now, I know people, this is, like their favorite Sabbath album. And that's cool. That's fine. Everybody has their own opinions. Opinions are like white albums. Everybody's got one. Stole that from Dylan. Thanks, buddy. But again, I know there are probably a lot of you Sabbath fans ready to click out of this damn video. I hope you have enjoyed my answers to the first questions. But in my opinion, that's a kick-ass cover and a bad album only by Sabbath standards. If this album was to come out now by an upcoming metal group, I'd probably love it and buy it with a smile on my face. But by Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne standards in that same era, surrounded by their classics, this is a bad album in context, in my opinion. Next up, a blues album. I'm glad to show you this one. One of my top finds of either of it 2018 or of late 2017. I don't know. But John Lee Hooker plays and sings the blues on chess. Got that chess label. First mono press. Guys, the cover, outside of that little right there, outside of that, immaculate. No split seams, no split spines, nothing in the world wrong with it. The wax, near mint. No surface noise, no nothing. I would feel wrong if I didn't show you guys this. Look at that. It is beautiful. And it sounds even freaking better. I love it. I love to get my hands on more blues in this kind of condition. This is easily the best conditioned blues album over 30 years old I've ever seen and ever got my hands on and I'm ever likely to see. I am lucky to have that. Shout out to my boy Dylan. I'm sure that doesn't shock you guys. An Earworm song. So, I see a lot of people on their vinyl tags maybe picking some songs that got stuck in their head for a few weeks. I see. And that's fine. But what I wanted to pick was one that got stuck in my head 27, 28 years ago. That's always been stuck in my head and probably always will be stuck in my head. And more importantly, I've never gotten tired of. So that's the best kind of Earworm song. I'm not talking about Happy by Pharrell, which, it comes out and you're like, oh yeah, this song makes me feel good. And then it's on multiple stations on the radio. Pop station, hip hop station, alternative station. And then you turn on your freaking TV and you see it on damn commercials. And you're like, oh my God, get out of my life. And before you know it, the song that you were snapping your fingers to and feeling good about, you freaking hate and you wish it would go away forever. I'm not talking about a song like that. I'm talking about one that gets stuck in your head, stays there, the radio plays the shit out of it, and you still never get tired of it. That's an Earworm song for me. All right. The album is Garth Brooks' No Fences. The song is Friends in Low Places. Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. The last one to know was the last one to show. I was the last one you thought you'd see there. I promise you guys won't hear me sing too much. I'm not great at it. So, anyway. How many of you, no matter what genre you're into, the biggest hip-hop head in the world has heard that song, probably hums along to it, and probably knows half the words? Because it's one of those massive hits that no matter your genre of preference, you know it, it's stuck in your head. You can't go to a bar even to this day without it coming on. You can't go to a karaoke bar without someone, even like me, but then again, I'm not shy, being brave enough to get up on stage and sing it. It doesn't go away, and everybody still loves it. That's a freaking Earworm song to me. I'll never forget about it, and I'll always love it. I'll probably be brave enough to karaoke that thing as long as I can get out of my wheelchair when I'm 80. All right, number 12, a historically important artist. This is not going to shock any of you guys where I'm going with this one, and it's another 2018 acquisition. I'm going with John Coltrane. The album I'm showing you is A Love Supreme, original mono press. Always been a huge grail of mine. I sealed it this year. I'm going to look on improving the condition, and this will probably belong to one of you guys someday. But in the meantime, the record sounds great, and it's a major one for me. This is the album that got me into jazz, and you guys see where I'm going now. So, down in the rabbit hole, right behind Alice. Next up, an album you have because of your parents. So, at first I'm thinking of albums they gave me. And my favorite album they ever gave me was Paul McCartney and Wings Over America. But I've shown that to you guys on like 3 or 4 of my videos and talked about it on 3 or 4 of my videos. So I'm like, okay, how about an album I went out and bought because of them? And I came up with one quickly. The Drifters, Golden Hits. I know every song on here, word for word. Guys, it's got There Goes My Baby, Dance With Me, This Magic Moment, Save the Last Dance for Me, Some Kind of Wonderful, Up on the Roof, On Broadway, Under the Boardwalk, I've Got Sand in My Shoes, Saturday Night at the Movies. Man, so many good songs. This is phenomenal. I bought one for myself, and then I bought one for my dad, and my dad doesn't even have means to listen to music. I just wanted him to have it. Because when I was coming up in South Carolina, where I still live, my family has a pontoon boat. I have spent so much of my life, a great percentage of my life, on the bodies of water in North and South Carolina. I bet I've been on all of them. You have a hard time naming a body of water in North or South Carolina that I'm not familiar with, and B, that I haven't been on. A lot of my introductions to music were because of that pontoon boat and because of those boat trips with the family. Late at night, my favorite time to ride on the boat. Guys, I'm way more of a nighttime person than I am a daytime person. Late at night, when all the other boats are off the water, everybody else has got sense enough to have called it a night, to have had dinner, to probably be in their beds, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and me and my parents and my brother and my sister are all out on the lake, lights on, cruising. No location in mind, no destination, no place to get to, nowhere to go in this world, no obligations. Just enjoying each other's company without saying a word with this record, which would be a CD, obviously. It's a pontoon boat. There's no damn turntables on a pontoon boat. If I could figure out a way to do it, I would, though. The Drifters, Golden Hits, with everybody in the family singing along to every word on some of the faster numbers and just taking in the slower numbers and loving each other's company. And that's something that my family and I have been doing my entire life. There are pictures of me as a baby with, a farmer's tan, but it was a tan from me having a life jacket on. So I'm tanned everywhere but the area that the life jacket covers my baby body, which wasn't nearly as hairy. Toddler me needed to step his beard game up. I'm just saying. Jeez. Memories I'll cherish the rest of my life, guys. Forever. Next up, best dollar bin find. Okay. I've never found shit in a dollar bin that's worth reporting. I've found some albums before in dollar bins that I wish I had found in dollar bins the first time, because the first time I spent some money on them, then I found them in a dollar bin. So I have found some like that, but every time I dig in a dollar bin, I don't find anything. And sometimes I hit a record store and don't even go to the dollar bin because of it. It's like, why am I wasting? I've only got so much time. Why am I wasting my time going there? Let me go to the jazz section. Let me go to the new arrivals. Let me go to the holy shit up on the wall records. And those are always my three main stops anyway, so why not, why waste any time? So, I decided to trick this out a little bit and give you my best thrift store find. Horace Silver, Songs for My Father. Phenomenal record, a must-have for jazz fans, in my opinion. It's an original mono with the New York labels on it. And I found this for $12 at a thrift store 3 or 4 months ago. Now, I know $12 ain't a dollar, but when you're talking about an original mono Blue Note in great condition that plays high VG plus with no split seams, no nothing like that, and you found it for $12 from one of the greatest jazz artists of all time, guys, that might as well cost a dollar. I'd rather have this than anything that I find in dollar bins. So I decided to trick that out a little bit, but that's my answer. Next up, favorite double album. Okay, there are plenty of double albums that I've heard that I love. Plenty. And really, for me, it came down to 2 as potential number ones. And really, depending on my mood, either one of them could be number 1. But today, it's the Beatles. White Album. Stereo press, original. And it's number 2,808,218. So it's not like a low number or anything like that. Now, I've got several copies, but I just decided to break out the original press for the video, for the purposes of the video. But I just went to a 50th anniversary performance in Charlotte not too long ago, where the band that was putting on the show performed the entire album in its entirety, plus some extra hits. It was great. It was a great time. And with some great friends, and I'll always love that album. And the Beatles were one of my first loves in music, and I'll always love them. I don't collect them. I'm not so insane about collecting them as I used to be, and I've thinned down my collection. I used to have insane stuff that I never listened to that I've thinned out for money for other things, but the Beatles' White Album, I'll always love it. One of my favorite things about the White Album is everybody's got a different opinion on it. And the reason I say that is you talk to 10 different people, you're liable to get 10 different favorite songs. And out of those 10 people, like 5 of them are going to name one of the songs that you don't think's all that. And everybody's got a different opinion. Some people will tell you that it's a mess. It just sounds like a compilation. And some people will tell you, I wish they would have thinned down 12 or 13 songs that had been a classic. Like, okay, well, pretty much everybody thinks it's a top 20 album of all time. But, definitely let's take some songs off of it. That's what makes it great, in my opinion. Because unlike every other Beatles album that's lined up and kind of has a theme and kind of has a purpose, this one right here is all over the freaking place. There are a lot of songs that these individual members did by themselves, performed by themselves, and it does not sound like it has that purpose to it, but it's a bunch of great songs, and I can't really think of anything I want to take off of it, so there it is. That's my opinion on it. In case you guys were wondering, my favorite song on it is Happiness is a Warm Gun. Anyway, an album you learned about from the vinyl community in the last year. I'm going to go with 2 of them. Number 1, Barbed Wire Sandwich, Black Cat Bones. Excuse me, the name of the band is Black Cat Bones. The name of the album is Barbed Wire Sandwich. Okay, this album's expensive, original presses are, so I was pointed in the direction of a good reissue. My boy, Dylan at Noble Records, pointed this one out to me. He didn't have a second copy. He's only got one. He's got the original one, of course. And he ain't parting with that one, but he let me know. He was like, dude, you need this one in your life, and here's a really solid reissue you should go get. And he pointed it to me, and I went and bought it on eBay. But I had no idea about this one, but it's insanely good. It's, a mixture of garage and psych rock, and it's just an insanely good record. Highly recommended. A good reissue is available. The one I'm holding in my hands, I think it's an import, but it's available for good cash. I think I paid $25 for mine on eBay. Highly recommend it, guys. If you're a fan of garage or psych rock, do yourself a solid. Go out and get it. Another one, because I wanted to do 2 for this one. All right. Liquid Smoke. Self-titled. I had no idea about this band. I had never heard of them. Again, it's kind of like garage psych, kind of. Not really so much psych as it is, but it's a rare band. They did Hard to Handle, which, Otis Redding did Hard to Handle. They did Hard to Handle. A little bit later, Black Crowes. But you get what I'm saying. But I had never heard their version before. And I heard it at a buddy of mine's house. He's K Rich on Instagram. As far as I know, he doesn't have a vinyl community channel. But just because he doesn't sit here in front of his iPhone and shoot videos like the rest of us do doesn't mean he's not a member of the vinyl community. The guy knows as much about records as anybody I've ever met in my life, and then some, and he's pointing me in the direction of some great ones, and this is another one. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. Classic. I actually wish he would make videos. Those would be interesting. Next one, 10-inch record. Okay. I was psyched for this one because I really don't like the 10-inch format that much unless they're originals from like the 50s, because that was just the way to go back then. That was just the format that they used. But anybody who points one out now, I damn near want to choke them if they put one out now, because they're hard to find sleeves for. The average record store doesn't carry 10-inch sleeves. I mean, yeah, you can order them on Amazon, but if you buy a pack of 50, chances are it'll take you 50 years to own 50 10-inches. I don't want them just sitting around. And you can't just buy one of them. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. And then they don't line up in your shelves the exact same way your 12 inches do. But this one's fine. Leadbelly's Legacy, Volume 3. Got this from Dylan at Noble Records. Shouldn't surprise any of you. He got it out of a freaking library storage box. Like a library who had a crap ton of these in storage, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Dylan, you can correct me if I'm mistaken. Basically, it called him up and said, we found boxes, a whole pallet full of records that we'd like to get rid of. You want to come look at them. And he did. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he bought the whole lot, which is, that's the way my boy rolls. But I've been looking for this one for years. I'm thrilled to have it. It's in phenomenal condition. Next up, a 7-inch record. I almost never buy 7 inches. Almost never. It's got to really be a special circumstance. Usually the only reason I'll buy a 7-inch record is if it's a 7-inch that came out, but the album didn't come out on vinyl. And it's a song that I just really love. And you know why they existed for the 7 inches? Because of the jukeboxes. And that's the only time I ever really do it. Most of my other 7 inches came from my parents when I inherited their collection. They gave me their collection. But these are some of the ones I made strong exceptions for. So, I grew up on a lot of country music. I still love the country music I grew up on, and I love outlaw country. I love stuff like that. Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard. My favorite to come out, 80s and above, George Strait, the King. You can't convince me that man did anything wrong. I adore him. Guys like that, I'll love now and I'll love forever. Garth Brooks. But anyway, I bought these two because this artist has a couple of albums on vinyl, a couple of his first ones, but they don't have these songs on them. And the album that these songs are on is not on vinyl, or else I would have bought the whole album. Damn it. So I went out and bought a couple of 7 inches. Vince Gill, from the album I Still Believe in You. This one, Don't Let Our Love Start Slipping Away. I love that song. The B-side, Love Never Broke Anyone's Heart. The other 7 inch I'm going to show you guys is from the same album. And it's got my a couple of my favorite Vince Gill songs. One of them was one of my favorite country songs, period, and definitely my favorite Vince Gill song. I Still Believe in You, the title track off the album. That man had the gift from God. He's one of the greatest vocalists I've ever heard. And one more last chance on the B-side, by the way. He's one of the greatest vocalists I've ever heard. He could pick a guitar like hell. He's not a short guy, he's a tall guy. Decent looking guy. Beautiful, classy wife. It's one of those ones where I don't know if any of you guys are religious, but if you are, you think, man, God was on his A game that day. Some guys have all the luck. But I love Vince Gill, and I wish that entire album was on vinyl. All right, favorite record to fall asleep to. I would never put on a record with the intention of going to sleep. I just wouldn't. I put on records during the day when I'm at my best and perkiest mood, or at night when I've still got all the energy in the world and my ladies, my wife and my daughter go to sleep. That's when I put on records, but it's always with the intention of listening for hours. It's always my intention when I do this. It's not with the intention of going to sleep. So, I'll just name an album that theoretically, if I did want to go to sleep to, it's chill and relaxing enough that I probably could. Well, I couldn't, but you get what I'm saying. McCoy Tyner, Nights of Ballads and Blues. It's one of my favorite piano-driven jazz records of all time. You guys might know McCoy Tyner from John Coltrane Quintet. Phenomenal record, very chill, very relaxed. Again, one of the best piano-driven jazz records I've ever heard in my life. Highly recommend you have it. If you've never heard of it, get it into your life. Look it up. It's phenomenal. Number 20, favorite vinyl community experience or advice for people who are thinking about making videos. Okay. My favorite vinyl community experience has just been getting to know some of my absolute best friends through the vinyl community. Through meeting so many awesome, well-intentioned, wonderful people. Through making so many probably lifelong connections. It's helped restore my faith in humanity in so many ways. I'm a person that's oftentimes, I'm one of the weirdest extroverts you'll ever meet, really. I can be very skeptical about people I don't know sometimes. And you turn on the news, it's not difficult to become skeptical of people. You see all the terrible things that individuals do to each other each and every day just because they can. No reason why. You don't hear a reason why. They just do it. And it's easy to lose faith in people that way just by turning on the news. But the vinyl community has introduced me to so many random acts of kindness, from having people that I've barely ever spoken to get my address and send me records for free just because they knew I'd love it, not expecting any money or anything in return, to people finding a record that they know I'll love and sending it my way, for friends of mine, to people looking out for me on record store day, finding a record they know I want, boxing it up and sending it my way, to people just engaging me with their conversation and taking time out of their day to talk to me about records, talk to me about music. Because in the area I live in, I've got like one friend that I can talk to on a regular basis, daily, pretty much, about records, and that's about it. I got other friends, obviously, that are into records, but they don't live right in the area as me. I don't see them every other day. So it's a real bummer. So the vinyl community is what I have for that, guys. Instagram, YouTube, I love you guys. You guys are all awesome. From the friends that I've made to the friends that I will make. I love you all. You're amazing. I love talking to you guys about music. I love your acts of kindness. I hope I can repay all of them going forward. I love the thoughtful advice and words of encouragement that you guys have given me on my videos. I love the camaraderie. I love the appreciation for the art. I love everything. So those are my favorite vinyl community experiences. If I listed them all out, this video would run like an hour and a half, and it's probably approaching an hour as it is because you guys know how I am. So let me leave that off now. And advice for people who are thinking about making videos. Okay. This is easily the most important thing for me. Be yourself. Be authentic. Be who you are. Don't put on an act when you make these videos. We can sniff that out. The rest of us in the vinyl community. If you're putting on an act because you think that's what people want to see and it'll get you more subscribers and more followers, it won't. It won't. It's honestly not going to. People who are inauthentic, most of us who are watching these, we've only got an hour or two, every now and then to watch one of your videos. We've only got a minute. We're not trying to watch bullshit. We're not. So don't be fake. No matter what you are, if you are shy and introverted and maybe a little camera shy, be that way. Don't try to put on a presentation because that's always the one that comes off the fakest. And don't try to edit your videos so fancy that it makes it look like it's a network television production. You're not on a multi-million-dollar salary. That's not to knock any of you guys who do it, but why? That shit ain't necessary. I don't care about your production. I don't care about it. I care about your thoughts, your knowledge, your authenticity, and what you have to say. That's what I care about. And I know a lot of my fellow vinyl community members feel the same way, whether they'll come right out and say it or not. So if you're putting together all these, oh my God, theme songs and everything else and throwing out these, effects and whatnot, it just, honestly, for the most part, just don't. Just don't. That's my opinion. Unless, you're like a trained editor or somebody like that. I don't know. Be yourself. If you are a loudmouth who likes to veer off and ramble, do that. Guys, I like to drink beer and listen to music. I like to drink beer and talk about music. So that's what I do in my videos. I got nobody to impress. I basically joined the vinyl community on YouTube on a dare. My buddy Dylan started his channel and was basically poking at me to jump in too. I jumped in, got some followers, met some awesome people, got addicted to it. And now I've met so many of you awesome people. But be yourself. If you're a rambling loudmouth who likes to drink beer, do that. If you're more shy and introverted and like to get short, sweet, and to the point, do that. But no need to be Ryan Seacrest on here, guys. Ryan Seacrest is making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Chances are none of us are. Got nobody to impress. We're not getting network checks cut to us. Just be yourself. Get to the point. Talk about your records, or don't get to the point. Ramble on for an hour. If you're being authentic and I can tell you know what the hell you're talking about, I will watch you for over an hour. I will. To point that out, a lot of people think that if you want people to watch your videos on here, they got to be 15 minutes and under. That's not necessarily the case. The number one video I have in terms of views was over 51 minutes long. And it's my number one video in views by almost double. My buddies were teasing me, telling me nobody's got time to watch your 51-minute video. Double the views of any of my other videos. Double. If you're authentic, if you know what the hell you're talking about, and you tell good stories, and you've got a good presence, people will watch and people will respond. So that is absolutely my advice. Be yourself, guys, because you're all wonderful. I watch some people that are shy, and I watch some people who love to tell stories, like Steve Carlson or Dylan at Noble Records. Guys like myself that love to tell stories, have stories. And then I watch some guys that, can bang out this 20-question vinyl tag that I just did in 15 minutes or under and still be compelling and still come with the knowledge and still, run through the list. Bam, 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 but you still learn something. Those guys are awesome too. Be yourself, no matter what that is. That's my advice for any of you people who are thinking about making videos and joining the vinyl community on YouTube. Hope that helps. So, that's my vinyl tag 2019. Till the next time, till my next video, keep dropping that needle, you guys.